I'm Deputy Kevin Taylor from the York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office. I am the crime prevention specialist for York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office. So I don't just cover York County. I go into Poquoson as well. And I'm a certified crime prevention specialist through the state of Virginia. I'm also a law enforcement practitioner, and quite newly, a certified national crime prevention specialist. So with all that in mind, what exactly does that matter? Well, I wasn't hatched out of the womb yesterday, so I'm a subject matter expert where all of this is concerned. And we don't really have a whole lot of those, but here on the peninsula, you guys are blessed because you got me, so please take really good care of me, all right? I'm going to hopefully answer a lot of the questions maybe you have about social media. My dad probably needs to be in this, but he's not. It's okay. Me and him will have that talk later. But social media affects all of us. It does. Even if you don't have social media, it's still affecting you, okay? If you're dead and gone, you've been dead and gone for 20 years, guess what? It's still affecting you because those hackers online is stealing bits and pieces of information for people that's been 6 feet under for the last 20 years. So we're not going to have a whole lot of time to get into a lot of the nuts and bolts of some of this, but in this hour, we're going to address a lot of the safety concerns that you guys might be faced with, okay? Now, as with any presentation that I deliver, I always ask that if you have questions, unless there's an overabundance of them, or unless you want to complain, I don't really care 2 cents for the complaints. Do you guys? All right, cool. So, ask as we move along, okay? So we're going to cover a few aspects of fraud, scams, stuff like that. But this class is really driven towards social media, okay? Now, scams and fraud and all of that can happen through social media. So the two of these kind of run in a way parallel to each other. All right, so the goal of this is to hopefully educate you folks on the difficulties and the dangers that are posed online each and every day. And it has nothing to do with your age or your gender or your race, where you come from, how much money you got or you don't got or anything like that. It has to do with all of that, okay? Again, if a person's been dead and gone for 20 years and never had a social media account, all of a sudden I get a friend request from that person, okay? So, hackers, and I don't know how and I know why, but I don't know how, they will steal bits and pieces of information and use that against us, and they'll create a person, right? We want you to achieve a better understanding of social media and what it is that you're doing on there. So how many in here have a cell phone that is a smart cell phone, like iPhone, Android, and okay, so how many in here uses social media? Okay, who in here uses Facebook? Who in here uses all social media because it's the best thing? No hands went up. All right, who in here says, can all of that? I don't like it. Really? Ah, we got one. Woohoo! Okay, we got two. And that's okay. Again, this class is for each of you, all right? Because again, remember, it's important to check credit reports, bank statements, and stuff like that, because even if you don't have social media and you don't embark on it, somebody could have taken your information, they could have hacked into your information, and they could be using it through a channel of social media and friend request you with some of her information. And then you're like, okay, cool, she wants to get together for coffee. And then you friend request or something. That's kind of how these things start, all right? We're going to talk to you about how to be safe while using online technology and identify some crimes that are associated with this, all right? All right, social media. We see teens, right? What happens when they're crossing the street? When we cross the street like we got a noggin up here with a tool in it, right? We cross the street like we're supposed to. What do 16-year-olds do? They do this, right? They walk along. I don't know how they don't run into a telephone pole or something. All right, not all kids are like that, but they have it glued to them. Now, I've seen adults and I've seen different age people that will cross the street and they got the earbuds in and the cell phone and everything. That's dangerous. You should never, ever, ever do that because, well, you could get run over. Somebody could grab and nab you. Okay, so you never want, if you got one earbud in and you're in a store, who in here has Apple earpods or has earbuds or anything like that? Okay, if you're in a store and you're using those, okay, and you're watching your TikTok videos, keep one in, keep the other one out. You know why? Because you want to hear what's going on, okay? Try the very best you can. Try to divide your attention. I know it's very hard, right? It's very hard to do it. And I have the attention span of a fruit fly, okay? So you think I'd be a pro at this. But you want to try to divide your attention so you can watch and listen to them funny TikTok videos. You got your shopping cart, and then you hear a conversation over here. Maybe somebody walked in with a gun or something, or somebody's getting ready to grab and nab you. Whereas if you have headphones in, you might not be able to pick up on those dangers. So social media encourages and enables people to exchange information about themselves and share pictures. Who in here loves going to the beach on vacation? Okay, thank you. We love going to the beach on vacation. Who likes going to the mountains? Okay, me too. See, I like going all. I just like going places if I don't have to drive. I don't like to drive. When you go on vacation, do you share pictures and videos where you are? You share them on social media? You should never. Now I say that loosely. There is a way to do it. There's a safe way to do it. And we'll identify that. Okay, we'll get into it. We're going to talk briefly on private messaging. But it's mainstream now. Friends, others who share similar interest, and the world, of course, at large. Everywhere you go, everybody, all walks of life and nature at this point, knows something about social media. All right, so again, you're on vacation. You went to the shopping mall, and you saw something that just sparked your interest, and you took a picture of it. And then you put it on social media, and you shared your location, or you decided to do a TikTok video. Okay? Most of these social media applications, even if you don't share your location, it's automatically going to share your location unless you've went into your privacy settings and you've turned that off. So my advice is we'll talk about this more later, but my advice is whenever you sign up for a social media account, know how your privacy equipment and your privacy filters, know how that stuff works. This isn't a class on how it works, but know how that works. If it doesn't, don't sign up for it, or get somebody, a friend, son, daughter, whoever, get somebody to help you out so that you know how that works, because you don't want to be, well, I'm at Walmart and I saw this cute little puppy. Let me take a picture of it, TikTok it, or let me put it on my Instagram, on social media. Hey, just had a really cool encounter with me and my best friend that I haven't seen in 40 years, and then it goes on social media, and now people know you're not at home. Well, that's a perfect time to come rob you. You just told them you're not at home. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to remind folks in here, Tech Tuesdays here at the Senior Center. First Tuesday of every month, you can come in, sign up, and somebody will come over and help you with your specific device.
That's a great idea. There you go. That's a wonderful idea. So see, there you go. So if you're at that point where you're like, look, I really want social media, or if you've already signed up for it, there you go, Tech Tuesdays. Come in here and get somebody to help you, so therefore you know how your privacy filters works. All right, so because of the open forms of communication and the social networking, that's why it's so important to be aware of the pitfalls that come with online shopping, surfing for stuff, communicating with other people. All right. Kids use social media sometimes for things that you might use it for at your age. Sometimes at your age, you're going to use it for the same thing that kids are going to use it for. Okay. So a lot of this stuff is really universal. All right. Even when you set to private, there's avenues available to still gain access into your profile. A lot of this stuff, I don't know how hackers do it. They're real big tech savvy gurus. Probably don't know how they do it. I think somewhere along the lines of social media, I was somehow, my information, I have very minimal information on my social media, But I think that a hacker used my name and my email back in the summertime to, because that's the only place I have this one specific email account. They used my first name, my last name, and that email that's on my social media, and they bought an iPhone 13 and they had it shipped to Northern Virginia. Now I was on vacation trying to enjoy the beach, although it was 2 o'clock in the morning, so I wasn't doing much enjoying of the beach. But that worried me, and I'm like, this is real. And I got all these emails that this is going on. And the only thing I can figure is social media did it. So the first thing I did was I went into my privacy settings and I made sure nobody else was logged into my account. If you ever have a doubt, log out of your account and go to your privacy features in your social media, and there should be a window in there in your social media platforms where you can see on most of these, is there more than one person logged in at a time? And if there is, you need to log out of it. Log out of it and report it to that social media company. Okay, so some crimes that we get affected with. I just told you about one, right? Now, did this person ever get caught? No. Will they ever? Probably not. And it's hard because a lot of these crimes are international and they're very, very, very expensive to investigate, a $600 or $700 crime. To investigate that, oh my goodness, we were dumped so much money into doing that. But in the same respect, taxpayers here in York County lost what? Buku bundles of dollars in 2023 alone from being scammed. And some of that was through social media. And all we got to do is just secure what we're doing online. And some of these crimes are fraud. And I tell you, I'm Michael Jordan because he was my all-time favorite basketball player. I'm not down with some of these new guys. I'm like with the old crew, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, the guys that cared about the ball, not the money, okay? So, if I tell you I'm Michael Jordan and I'm selling basketballs, okay, and I direct messaged you on Facebook, or rather I friend requested you and you accepted it. I'm Michael Jordan. And I send you a friend request and I say, hey, I'm selling brand new NBA basketballs. I'm selling them for $5 a piece. Oh, cool. You want to buy 20 of them. Is Michael Jordan really going to friend request you? No. Is he really going to sell you an NBA basketball for $5? No. Well, maybe to me because I'm like his best buddy. However, it doesn't work that way. So a lot of times you can shore up your own sanity by sitting there and saying, wait a minute, Michael Jordan would not request me as a friend. He don't know me from Adam. Delete it. Don't accept his friend request, okay? If Michael Jordan actually was going to request you as a friend, you would know it. Now, spam or junk mail. We get this in some of our social media platforms have inboxes. And they can actually deliver mail to spam, junk mail to your social media platform, not just your regular email accounts. Okay? Spam or junk mail, you got to be careful with this. Not everything you click on is legal. Not everything you click on not everything you click on is legit. Okay? And you got to vet every single thing that you're about to click on. And when in doubt, hit that X button and throw that email out. Yes, ma'am.
You're talking about fraud and stuff. I get these things, I think it's an email, so it's Dick's Sporting Goods. It's their logo and everything. It looks just like it. Or they're like $15 Nikes or everything. Looks cute. I get it from Bath and Body Works, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looks legit. What's the other one? A Hoga. $20 Hogas. They don't exist. I know this, but how do they find me? I guess is my question.
Same way they find me and everybody else, because hackers are surfing social media accounts. And that's the big one. They're surfing social media accounts. Maybe you don't have a social media, but somebody else has mentioned you in someone else's social media, or something to have to do with you, your address. Hackers are working overtime and they're filtering the web worldwide to try to get bits and pieces of information from anybody they can, and all they need is a few little things about you, such as an email account. And then they send it out, not knowing you from Adam. They send out these electronic emails wishing and wanting you to click on a link. And as soon as you click on the link, it takes you to something that says, your computer is frozen, call and pay $500. Or it might say, click here to secure your account, enter in the last 4 of your social. Never do that. The best way, if you get one of those emails, the best way to vet that, call the company direct and say, hey, are you guys running a sale on this? No, delete it.
Yeah, I just deleted. Another question.
Best thing to do.
I get from, shortly before the pension comes through, I get these emails saying, supposedly from the bank, saying that my account is frozen and I need to contact these people to solve this problem. And sometimes the number I'm supposed to contact, one of them was Jose's Landscaping. I mean, really, that was the email they wanted me to contact to solve my bank problem.
And so, and you would be surprised and shocked, but there's folks out there that will do that. They will succumb to the pressures of calling those numbers and paying folks because they believe that that's what you're supposed to do, and it's not. And it's sad, but if people aren't educated to it, then they don't know. And that's how folks lose a lot of money. But the best way to vet that information and to validate it is to call the bank, call the corporation, get in touch with, you can also, social media, if you're getting this stuff through social media, you can report it as spam, you can report it as junk, and it goes to that social media platform company, and they look at it, and hopefully they filter it out. And so usually when you click on one of these emails through your social media, you can click on it. I mean, different platforms operate differently, but you click on it, and there should be like a little report button. You click it, you might have to answer a few little things, and you hit submit, and it sends it off to the social media platform company. Yep. All right, so invasion of privacy using technology. So this one can affect us a couple different ways, and it can affect us in person. So if I walk out of the room because, I don't know, I needed to go outside to talk to Brian Harmon for a few minutes, and I left my computer right here, and then you guys decided, well, I want to see what Officer Taylor's up to in his spare time. You get on my computer and you start banging around and moving files around and you destroy county stuff. Well, that's invasion of not only my privacy, but now the county's privacy as well. Because there's probably secure stuff that I have locked in here, okay? There's also another way. Let's say you hack into someone's computer or someone hacks into yours, okay? I'm trying to give you some examples here. Somebody hacks into your Instagram and they're posing as you. And they start moving files around or moving photos around or your information around. That's invasion of privacy using technology. A lot of times it is very, very hard to bring these people to justice unless we're there when they do it in person and we know who they are or they slip up. All right? Harassment by computer. Harassment by computer affects us a few different ways. It can be our neighbor and us are not getting along, and so they're continuing to send us direct social media messages. We need to tell them to stop. We need to block them. Not continue to sit there and say, well, they won't leave me alone and we haven't done anything about it. If you do nothing, expect nothing. So you need to do something. You need to block them. And every application on social media, you can block entities and people. Manufacturing or disseminating, of course, child pornography. We're all mature enough and responsible enough to really know what that means. Obviously, nobody in here is obviously dealing with that. But our kiddos, sometimes they don't understand the law. And ignorance of the law is no excuse, as it says in our Code of Virginia. However, if we take child pornography and we send it to another person, whether we're 16 years old or whether we're 4,016 years old, it doesn't matter your age. If you disseminate child pornography, that is a felony. Okay? You'll be investigated. If you are charged and you are convicted, then now you're on the sex offender registry and potentially for the rest of your life, depending upon your charges and your conviction. So that is very bad. Schools. So, Virginia, all 50 states, out of all 50 states, Virginia was the very first state to require internet usage policies in their schools. It's covered in the Code of Virginia, 22.1-70.2. So if your kiddos or your grandbabies, they attend school, because phones, I guess, that's how we learn nowadays, is through our phones. But they have to have internet-safe policies that address what our kiddos are doing behind those brick walls. Real briefly, I'll just kind of go over some of the teen stuff here. We already know teens use the internet for everything. Anybody here got kiddos at home, grandbabies? Yes, ma'am.
Are students advised as to what those parameters are, what the rules are? So my first grader, no, would know, because all of them have computers. I mean, they're issued by the schools now. So
Yes, ma'am. So even the little, so the parents, so that's given in their, I guess their handbook or whatever they get. But yes, ma'am, the little babies that can't obviously read and articulate at that point and don't know the difference between right and wrong and have intent at this point, mom and dads know, right? And so that's where education from parents come into play, right? But our schools have really cool filters in place to where they can block out certain things, like especially on Chromebooks that are owned by that are county-owned property and so forth. That doesn't really help us when kids bring in their own technology. Most teens, because of their age and because of their competency level, they don't understand a lot of the hidden dangers. There's people that are my age, there's people that are your age, folks, that they don't understand the dangers online because they've never been to one of these sessions. They've never encountered something bad online, all right? And it's never a bad thing until it happens to you. And then a lot of times that's when people become educated that, wow, I didn't know that danger was out there. Kids, a lot of times, they do the same thing that we all do. They expose too much of themselves online. Where they are, where they've been, what they're doing, what they're studying, all that other stuff. Creating an online account. When you sign up for an account, a lot of these accounts are they're contracts. Everybody here know what a contract is, right? When you went to the dealership and you bought your car, you had to sign on the dotted line, right? Saying you promised to pay. When you got that credit card, you promised to pay, okay? Those are a type of contract. There's also a contract called a take it or leave it contract. Now, take it or leave it contract is the one where, all right, who has social media? Okay, I got social media too. Are y'all like me where it had all of this information written by legal scholars and it's like 3 days worth of reading? Click, accept. Right. We click and we accept most times, okay? And if we did read it, any lawyers in here? I don't want to offend anybody, okay? Lawyers are awesome, okay? But I always ask if there's lawyers because then I'm like, here, let me exchange your information. That way when I need to phone a friend, I can call you and say, interpret this for me. But no, a lot of times these take it or leave it contracts, they're written by lawyers, okay? So they're in a language that a lot of times we can't interpret ourselves. But the information is right there. And basically, to sum it up, when you sign up for social media, you have to read all of their terms, their agreement. You're gonna be a good boy. You're gonna be a good girl. You're gonna do everything you're supposed to. You're gonna TikTok the way you're supposed to. And if you don't TikTok the way you're supposed to, they're gonna put you in TikTok jail. So you got to read through all of this and then you click accept. And that is what we call a take it or leave it contract. And guess what? If you don't agree to it, then you click you don't agree to it, and you don't get a social media account. And when you click that you agree to it, that's recorded on that social media platform. So when you mess up or you violate their standards or policy, they don't care you didn't read it. Only thing they care about is, whoo, we're covered because they said they read it and they understand. And so now we can put them in TikTok jail. So it's very important that when you're creating these online accounts, you understand what you're clicking through before you click through it. Okay? And they're going to request things like your email address, your name, your address, your phone number, etc. Give as minimal information as possible. When you set up your profile for public, don't put your phone number out there for other people to see it. Don't put your email address out there. I got friends that will put where they've worked, where they've lived, where they went to school. I don't have any of that mumbo jumbo on mine. And they still found me. Don't put that on there. Okay? If you want people to find you now, I mean, that's fine. But folks, understand this. When you have social media, I don't care what privacy setting you have selected for yourself. When you have social media, that's public. It's kind of like throwing garbage out on the street. You now have taken, not that what you post is garbage, but it's the same thing. I mean, you're throwing it out there for the whole world to see. Because if it's only between me and you shared it only to where me and you could see it, and now I take it and I say, well, I'm going to share it to you. That's public information. Okay? So don't, when you're setting up your online profiles, use as little information as you can get away with. Just like an email site, information can be hacked, leading to, again, my case, for instance. Now I finally got it figured out, but I had to email corporations. I couldn't talk to a real life person. I had to send all these emails. And it can lead to identity theft and fraud, stalking. You accept a friend request of somebody where you're like, this looks like a really nice Wednesday morning coffee date. This is nice. But then they don't show up. But then they want to still talk to you. Do they live here? Do they not? What's going on? Why are they standing me up? And then you notice a really weird vehicle that starts to follow you to and from. Okay? It could even be the Ronald McDonald's Jeepers Creepers white minivan. Okay? Who knows? But folks, that's how some of these stalking cases start. They're real. This is real life. Maybe they do meet you for the coffee date. And you're like, you know what? You're a really weird person. God bless you. I don't really want to talk to you anymore. Okay? You break paths, only you broke paths. They didn't. Now they continue to follow you everywhere you go. We have a bigger issue. Cyberbullying, our kiddos deal with this a lot. Denial or admittance into school or employment. You could lose your job for things you put on social media. You could lose your job, pension gone. You could lose, if you volunteer for civic organizations, that's gone. That could go away. Legal repercussions. What you put online on social media, yeah, you can get online and you have the freedom all day long to say whatever you want. People come up to me and they say, well, it's America and I have the freedom of speech. That's exactly right. Can't nobody keep your mouth closed. You can say whatever you want. Okay? But there may be consequences to your words. Because if you get online and you type out something that could be a threat to someone else, well, what he doesn't know is that I'm going to beat him up. Well, that's a threat. That's a felony because, well, then that's posted online. That's a bad day for you. If somebody sends that to you, that's a bad day for them. That's a threat. Harassment starts that way as well. So legal repercussions. So please be very, very careful of what you post online. If, you and your sister or you and your brother are having a quarrel and you go online and you start talking bad about them. Freedom of speech all day long. But then what if it starts to bump the cusp of slander and then it turns into slander? Are you looking at civil repercussions in the next 2 to 4 years in civil court? Civil trials? You're talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I don't have that kind of money. Watch what you put online, folks. All right. Credit issues. If you're not doing it already, you should have been doing it. You should have already been doing it. Credit reports. Check your credit report. There's some of these companies out there you can check it for free. I'm not going to sit here and say I endorse one or the other. But look, check some of these. Check your credit report on a regular basis. Look for charges that shouldn't be there. Because again, through social media, people will take a little bit of your information with a little bit of yours and a little bit of mine. They might create a person. Okay? Or they might just take all of our information that they got off of social media and use it to go open up a loan. Okay? So check your credit reports. 10, 12 years ago, before I started online banking and online shopping. Okay? Before that, we would take our debit card and we would go to the store and we'd buy our milk and our bread, okay? Especially if it was calling for snow. So if it was calling for snow, there was no bread, milk, and eggs left on the shelf because we buy it all. Now, but in our bank account, we noticed every couple of months or so was getting hit. A few nickels here, a couple dollars there. We didn't do anything online. We did not online shop. No. We online shop now. And you know what? Now that I say that, knock on wood somewhere, we haven't been hit in a while. So there is no rhyme or reason. It's just be careful where you shop, how you shop. Be careful when you're entering your PIN at a keypad somewhere. Make sure somebody's not shoulder surfing. But there is no rhyme or reason to that. So if you don't shop online, they could still get your information. I don't know that there's any concrete answer of really how they're acquiring it. But they do. There's ways that these hackers use where they get our identity and our information, and they end up using it against us. A lot of times with their bank account, it'll be smaller transactions that we might skim over and not notice. 25 cents here, 99 cents here. That'll go on for a month or so maybe, and then they'll hit us for $10,000. So that's why it's important. Check these reports. Like I said earlier, what you post online, you post a picture of yourself online, it's kind of like taking a bag of garbage and throwing it out there for York County to pick up. It belongs to everybody at that point. All right, let's talk about photos. If you take a photo and you put it on social media and then you're like, I shouldn't have put that on there, that's not good. When you delete it, it still exists. It's still there, okay? So keep that in mind. When you share something online about a beach trip that you took or a waterfall or something like that, everybody has it now. Do you know who's looking at your Facebook? Now, you might have 100 friends on your Facebook account, but can all of their friends see what you have going on? Okay? And of course, all of this can be creepy. So here's some social media platforms. It sounds like some of you are more up to speed than I am on some of this, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, believe it or not, YouTube, social media, video blogging, podcast. I'm going to hit on this very briefly, but gangs and social media. So gangs use social media, right? So the day of, hey, let's stand on a street corner for 16 hours and recruit the youngins is kind of, I'm sure that still exists, but it's kind of also gone by the wayside when they can recruit in numbers through social media. And it funds, obviously, their process. Some of them have their own websites. The National Crime Prevention Council, kids as young as 9 years old were recruited by gangs through social media. As young as 9 years old. There are other reports as kids as young as 5 years old being recruited. All through social media. That's direct messaging. That's somebody just as simple as sending them a friend request with a picture of themselves, all right, like another kid or whatever, and the kid accepts them as a friend without checking with their parents first, and then it starts off as a friendship between the two kids, and then all of a sudden it starts off with something to the nature of, hey, let's meet up, or hey, I'm in this, and hey, don't you want to be part of this? That's kind of how a lot of this stuff starts. All right. Law enforcement is trying to combat this across the United States by using social media surveillance. A lot of money federally has been dedicated to that. And the term is cyberbanging is what is used to describe recruitment into their criminalized gangs, if you will. All right. As we've talked about, when you put stuff on social media, other people see it, right? Well, you got colleges. Most all of our colleges now, they use social media. They're going to investigate. They want to know who you are. So you might fill out your admission slip or whatever to college, but then they have questions on there. Do you use social media? Just like employers. Yes, I do. They want to know what platforms. That's because they're going to sit there and they're going to go see what kind of stuff you posted. They don't want people on their campuses, just like employers don't want people at their jobs. That's going to make them look bad. High schools use it as well. Like I said, employers. The thing with employers is, just like with colleges, I have known people that they get upset about something in society or whatever, and they post something on social media. And then they think back and they're like, man, I really shouldn't have posted that. And they delete it. But by the time they delete it, thousands of people have saw it. The very next morning, they don't have a job. Can't support a family if you don't have a job these days. Your opinion matters. Okay? Your opinion matters, But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real blunt. It doesn't matter to everybody. Now, your opinion matters to me, okay? It does. It really does. I work for y'all, okay? I work for the sheriff and I work for you guys. But look, here's the thing. Your opinion does not matter to everybody. So if people know you're part of a certain civic organization, and then you put out there that you're disgruntled because of this or that or whatever, well, they don't care about your opinion. That's now the opinion of whatever civic organization you're part of. Maybe you belong to the Lions Club or whatever. Now that's the opinion of the Lions Club. It's a true story of a Indianapolis state trooper, Chris Pesto. He was dismissed from his job. That's him down in the bottom right picture. I don't know about you, but that's not how I act on Friday night. Who in their right mind would do that, right? But people don't think. That's the thing. Because sometimes people aren't in their right mind. They just don't think. Or maybe they think they're not going to get in trouble. Ending a career. Michael Phelps, from 2012. The career issues he had. Posting threatening messages online is a felony. Remember I told you that? Courts will use social media as evidence. They will allow it as evidentiary value in court testimony. If you receive direct threat, don't delete it. We might need it on the law enforcement level to help you with the case. Because if you report a crime to us, we're going to investigate it. If there's probable cause, we're going to charge somebody. Okay? Block that person. Don't delete it. Okay? For those of you guys who have kids and grandbabies that might post that they're having a party. Okay? You leave home for the weekend. You're like, look here, grandbaby. When I'm gone, no parties. When you leave, they're going to have a party. They're going to have a party. You need to make sure they don't have no party, but they're going to have a party. All right? And you know what? They're going to post that party. And that party you want them to have is with them in the textbooks. Okay? You want them to study all weekend long, cut the grass, all right, scrub the toilets, have dinner ready for you when you get back. Okay? You don't want this to happen where they post a party and then 500 people show up along with police cars, and you don't want that. All right? So, when you leave and teens post, hey, we're having a party, we're having a get together. Few of y'all are invited. A few turns into a few hundred. And then that's not good. That happens here in York County from time to time, believe it or not. We got to be careful. My advice on that is, if you have kiddos that you are the guardian of, be linked in to their social media if you allow them to have it. Know what they're doing online. Spy on them. All right? They have no expectation of privacy other than the bathroom. They have to turn their phone over to you if you say turn it over. If they're your grandbabies and you have custody of them, hey, they got to do what you say. All right. Data security. 25-year-old, I can't pronounce his name there, but Hacker Kroll hacked several high-profile Twitter accounts, including President Obama, Lily Allen, Britney Spears. Wanted to warn people about data security. A lot of these folks will do it just to say they can do it. There was an organization, it used to be, it was like 2012-ish time frame, 2013, called Anonymous. Okay, they were the ones that wore that like weird looking mask thing. It almost looked like the V for Vendetta mask, if you know what I'm talking about. And they hacked into Bank of America and some of these other entities just to say they could do it and expose the weak parts of the data security. That's right. So, folks, if they can hack into major corporations like that, don't tell me they can't hack into yours. They can. They can do it. They can hack into anything they want. Of course, he was arrested. We talked earlier about email. A lot of the stuff is coming through email. Not a lot of stuff through phones now. Some stuff still through phone. New and frequent scams are predominant in social network sites, and that's where a lot of this stuff is hidden. People forget that because they don't think it's going to attack them through social media, and that is a big one, is social media security. Just because you know who your friends are in social media, okay, doesn't mean you can't get a direct message with a link in it from your friend that your friend didn't send. Do not click on any links unless you have vetted it first. So kind of how this works, messages are frequently sent from your friends to you based on the trust with your friend. It's open. Consequences are, of course, your personal data being deleted, compromised. We can go open up a bank loan in your name, go buy a car, a house. If you guys remember the old social media game Farmville on Facebook, the gifts that were delivered through that were viruses sometimes, all right? We don't see Farmville no more, but there's lots of other games that took its place. Yes, ma'am.
I think this is, I'm wondering, I get like quote private messages, but from people I've never heard of. I'm guessing they know some of my teaching buddies that I'm friends with, and I've never heard of them.
Delete it.
I don't open them because
Nope, don't open it. If you don't know who it is, delete it. If they're really trying to get in touch with you, they'll send you mail or they'll send you another message or something or other. They'll try to find another way. They could be getting it anywhere. That's the not so cool part about this is the way technology works nowadays, and it's creepy and scary. God only knows where they're getting a lot of this information from. That's why we really have to be careful. All right, so clean it up, right? So if you got friends that are no longer friends, delete them. Every so often, change your password, like every 2-3 months, whatever. Change your passwords, folks.
Password to what?
Password to any and all social media accounts. Yep. Change your password. Change it up. Don't use the same PIN number and the same password for all of your accounts. Use different passwords. Write it down. Put it in a safe. Put it somewhere where only you're going to know where it's at. My problem is I write them down, I put them in a place, then I forget where I put them. You know? Now there is online entities that say they secure, they're like a password type thing where you can put all your passwords in that and you pay them however much. But I don't know. I still don't trust that, you know. All right, so photos or posts that, you know, would not be appropriate, just don't even post it. Just don't even post it. Unsubscribe from groups that promote illegal activity, or just don't join them. Remove your personal contact information. If you're drinking, you should never, ever, ever take a picture of you doing any kind, even if it's legal. You're sitting there sipping wine with friends. People can Photoshop that and use it against you. Do not post that on social media. Remove photos that show you with people who are obviously under the influence. Remove photos with rude gestures. Kids do this a lot. They'll throw each other the middle finger in pictures and stuff. I see adults doing it too. I don't understand the humor in that. I don't know. Remove photos that are sexually suggestive. This I see from all age groups, not just from kids. It's a really bad image. If your mother wouldn't approve of it, don't put it on social media. Remove photos that portray illegal activity. Remove and delete accounts that are no longer wanted or used. And that's a big one because the longer it sits dormant, a hacker might come into contact with that unused account online and start using it against you. All right, so use your profile page to make yourself look good because that's what it's about. When you get back off of vacation, that's the time if you want to post vacation pics. And if you have to post them, if you just have to post them when you're away from home, okay, you should never. But if you have to, try to dress it up to where it makes it look like or you're on vacation and you posted this vacation photo and you're on vacation now, make it look like you're at home, but in the same respect, hey, just posting these, forgot to post these for my vacation last week. Okay? Make people think you're still at home. It's a free place to promote yourself. It's free to you. Other business entities, they advertise. That's how it's free to you, right? Post yourself doing things over here at York County, man. Whether it's an ice cream social or whether it's something really cool with friends that you're doing. Post good stuff that people want to actually talk about. Post photos of you and your friends in a positive light. Post travel pictures and worldly experiences, but be safe doing it. We've talked about friend request. Folks, this is for any adult. Never accept a friend request for someone who looks like they're even remotely under 18. If you don't know who it is, delete that friend request. If you know who their parents are, check with their parents first. Never accept a friend request from somebody under 18. We've talked about your privacy features, know how they work. Being stalked online is a real big deal. 911, you can call 911 if a crime has been committed. If you're being stalked, you're being followed, block them. If it still continues, there's a cyber tip line that you can call, or there's a website that you can go to. You could also call us and we'll take a report for you and we'll investigate the matter. Don't delete messages. You may end up needing them. We might end up needing them for our investigation as well. Being stalked is a real big deal though. Let's see here. Never share your passwords with anyone. Never meet with anybody online who you've never meet in person with anybody who you've only ever met online. So it's true love. I get it. You met them 5 minutes ago because they sent you this smoking hot photo, and Lord have mercy, can they golf? I mean, they even sent you a video clip with it, right? Wow. Okay? And that's exactly what you've been looking for that 9 a.m. Wednesday morning brunch therapy. But you know what? I would brunch therapy it by myself on the back porch, sipping my coffee or my cappuccino or whatever else before I go meet face to face with somebody who I've only met online. If you must go and meet with them, take a friend with you. Take a friend with you. Meet in a public space. Hey, check this out. We have a safe place here in York County. Do you guys know where it's at?
Yes.
A safe exchange. Where's it at?
At the sheriff's office.
Bingo, bango, ringo, ringo. You got it.
And there's a sign that says, this is the location to
That's
meet
it.
somebody.
Here's the cool thing with that. When you pull up, you park your car, boom, they're dispatchers. They got you. And here's the cool thing is at the sheriff's office. Can crime happen at the sheriff's office? You betcha. But there's a camera on you, okay? And so when you pull up and you do your safe exchange, they kind of got you covered, all right? Don't meet in dark alleys. Try not to meet at Walmart and stuff like that. But if you must meet in public, and you can't meet at the sheriff's office, because that's the bona fide safe exchange zone, meet in a public space where there's lots of people, where if you need to and you get nabbed and grabbed, you can scream help. Okay? Be careful who you accept online as a friend. That goes along with that. Never meet up with anybody who you've only ever met online. If you have 100 friends on social media, and so you get a social media request from somebody that you know, and you're like, well, wait a minute. I thought I was a friend with them. Oh, well, I accept it anyway. Oh, God, don't do that. Please don't do that. Go through your friend list, because if you're already a friend with them, that somebody has duplicated their account and they're sending you a bogus friend request. And when you click on it, they're going to take and attack your information, and they're going to keep it going. Okay? I know this is kind of like the world of Matrix in here, right? Yes. I know I look a little bit like Keanu Reeves, don't I? Huh? I look a little bit like him. I'll sign autographs later. Yes, sir.
What I do, a lot of times I get a request from somebody that looks like somebody I know.
Yes, sir.
Ask them something that only me and that one person would know.
Yes, sir.
And if they come up with it, fine. And also if I'm meeting somebody like on Marketplace, we've been meeting down at Walmart in the corner there where you guys hang out a lot. And
Where there's cameras, there's two cameras right there.
And a lot of times they'll say, okay, I'll meet you at Walmart, and you never hear from them.
The only thing I can say is if you must meet in public space, it needs to be well lit, daylight, take somebody with you. If you can go to the sheriff's office, go there. We're not going to big brother spy on you, okay? We're not worried. We're not going to come out there and be like, what you selling? You turning that in on taxes? We're not worried about that, okay? All right. We're worried about your safety, folks. All right? That's why Sheriff Montgomery endorsed that program. That's why he's all over that program, because he cares about you guys. All right? But if you must go to Walmart, do it in the daylight, do it in the cameras, do it closer to the store where you can say, help. Would you believe that some people want to meet up with you because you're a guy? Now, hold on. They want to meet up with you because you're a guy, because they don't want a they want a challenge. Okay? They want to know, okay, well, you pretty big guy and everything. You look like you'd be worth a fight. All right? So, they want to meet up with you because they want to nab and grab you, because for whatever their sick, demented reasons are, you're a challenge to them. And that's what's feeding their fantasy. Okay?
He never goes alone.
He never goes alone. You his bodyguard? Can you be mine too? I love it. All right. So, never share your personal information with anyone. Think before posting photos. Don't give away your location through your photos. Snapchat is big into this one, or they'll give it away quick. Protect your friends by not posting their information. Please don't post other people's information without getting their permission first. We've talked about knowing your privacy safeguards. All right, guys, here is some really cool information, like some cool areas where you can go online for some of this up-to-date information. Social media safety. On Guard online is one I deal with a lot. I get a lot of their resources and I hand them out to the general public. On Guard online is probably one of my most favorite. And then NetSmart Kids, if you have little ones at home, NetSmart Kids, that's a wonderful platform to give you a plethora of information for your little ones right there. Here's the other one. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC. All right? When in doubt, you always call 911. You always call us and we'll help you out, okay? But if you're not for sure of something, the Federal Trade Commission, they investigate fraud, scams, identity thefts, okay? If you feel you've been targeted, or you feel that there's criminalized activity going on through social media, you can reach out to the FTC, all right, the Federal Trade Commission, and they will investigate and they will help you. They come out and they govern a lot of these entities, okay? Folks, do any of you guys have any questions for me? Because we're right there at it. Nothing at all? I was that awesome? Well, that's how Keanu Reeves rolls. All right, look. I am so blessed to have been able to be invited and come back here and speak with you guys again. I think y'all are super awesome. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Thank you guys very much.